All right, guys, I was watching the New York head chief talk, and so here's some crazy stuff that Big Brother government is gonna say that they didn't know this was gonna happen, they couldn't foresee all this stuff, and and just basically make excuses why they're gonna lock us down like prisoners in a cage, right? Now let's listen to them and see what they say. Now they're telling you. Just a couple of days ago, they were saying to you, "Don't worry about it; it's a bug." A couple of days ago, they were saying it's nothing, and now listen to them today.
The curve. If you have too high a number of people sick at the same time, when they descend on the hospital system, you will overwhelm the hospital system.
There you go, guys. That's what's happening in China. So we should have already learned that lesson. And a little bit later on, this guy goes and saying that there's no way we can build a hospital in a short period of time. Well, we've seen that China has done it. So the problem is that this guy is unprepared, just like Big Brother, and they're just not making excuses from not having ventilators, which he talks about, from not having masks, well, not having enough backup, and the solution for him is, just listen to him. I'll let him explain himself.
That's the issue here. It has always been the issue here. Overwhelming the capacity of the hospital system. And that, my friends, is important. You listen to the cable news all day.
Now he's going to go into, why they're not prepared, and why they didn't do all this stuff beforehand, and he's going to give us a little speech.
Well, why didn't we start testing earlier? Why weren't we more prepared? That's all about yesterday, right? That's all recriminations. That's blame. We should have.
Well, dude, my thing is, if you're the leader and you didn't see that coming, then why should you continue being the leader of the people? So he's gonna just say is whatever. Hey, well, that's yesterday. Then he's gonna use the military where why fight a war of yesterday, today. Well, we know what the military does is just kill, 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 fight, fight, fight. Well, we're not military. We want to be civilized human beings, right? We want to be machines. And, and for that, we have to learn. We have to learn that we make mistakes and learn from that. And if he's not willing to learn from that and, point the finger at blah, 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 excuses, then it shows you that how unprepared they were and how unprepared they're going to be going into the future. But I'll skip this part. Let's go see what he says later.
Try to reduce the size of the wave. Assume you can't reduce the size of the wave. And this is a case of first impression for this nation. We have never fought a virus like this with this potential consequence. So
yeah, but we saw China do it, so we could have learned from that time instead of being ignorant and arrogant and whatever you want to call it. We could have learned from that. Those people were building hospitals so quick. We could have started piling them up masks, start producing respirators, masks, sanitizers, etc. But we're dropping bombs.
Plan forward. Plan forward. You see that wave? Try to reduce the size of the wave. Assume you can't reduce the size of the wave.
Okay, and the reason is because we already know that they couldn't at China, right? I mean, we saw that. So the wave is what he's really trying to, delude us is that these are the amount of people that are going to get sick. There's going to be a wave of sick people, what he needs to put in there, and it's going to overwhelm their hospital systems.
And assume the wave breaks at a higher level than the hospital system can accommodate. I believe that's what's going to happen.
Well, no duh, dude. Anyone could told you that. Anyone that watched what happened in China. It doesn't take a serious guy 4 weeks later to say that. So basically, this is the very test pilot of one state leader coming out and saying it, whatever he's saying. But I mean, come on, man.
So, what do you do? New York State hospital capacity, 53,000 beds, 3,000 ICU beds.
Now listen to this. This is the most craziest part.
Is that a lot of beds? Is that little beds? 3,000 ICU beds, presently about 80% occupied.
Holy moly, guys. There's 3,000 ICU beds and 80% is already occupied, guys. And there's only 20% available. And this is not even the pandemic that's about to hit, guys. So, yeah. I don't even know the population of New York, but, see, let's listen to this guy.
Okay? So that means you have several hundred ICU beds available. Why are the ICU beds important? Because the people who come in, vulnerable populations, older people, underlying illnesses, respiratory problems, they need the ICU bed. They need the ventilators. They need the machines that breathe for them. Those are the ventilators. They are in ICU beds. The overwhelming crush is going to be on the ICU beds.
And why is there overwhelming crush on the ICU beds? Because people are going to get really jacked up and they need the ICUs. See, he's not telling it to you right. He's just saying they just need the equipment. They need the property. But why do people need the property? Because a lot of people are going to get sick. They're going to need that. They're going to get real fucked up, right? They can get real sick. They need the ICU, the top level of care available before death.
Not the 53,000 normal hospital beds, because those are basically going to be people recovering from the flu. You can
those the other 50,000 are going to be packed jam. Those are just people that are just like really fucking sick. But the other ones are really, really, really sick, and he's just passing out like, yeah, that one's going to be full already, but just from people that have the flu.
Recover from the flu at home. If it's really bad, you go into the hospital. They make sure that you are not dehydrated. But the critical people are the people who had underlying illnesses and need those ICU beds and those ventilators. 3,000 goes very, very quickly on any.
So what he's saying there is they're going to get filled up real quickly, because they don't even have 3,000 guys. He just said that 20% of them are available, 80% are full out of that 3,000. So, see, he's diluting. He should say out of that 3,000, we're talking about 300, 600 beds are going to go really quickly. But he keeps saying 3,000, which is not true, because earlier he just told you 80% was full.
Projection of these numbers. What do? Maximize existing hospital beds.
Listen to this.
And hospital capacity.
Listen to this.
Potentially build more capacity. Again, we're only talking about several weeks here before that wave breaks.
Well, hold on a second. China built a hospital in like 2 weeks, 4 weeks, man. And, these are the people that, we say, or government says, or TV says, these are the backward people. These are the people that eat rats or whatever. And they, I love everyone, right? But I'm saying that in the views of our adversaries like China, we think they're, backwards, like we thought Native Americans were backwards. But we can see that how civilized these people are in a sense of engineering, being able to be prepared, be able to have foresight, right? And I'm not for China, but hey, you got to give your opponent, acknowledgement of the skills that he does have, right? Where if you listen to this guy, he's saying we only have 2 or 3 weeks, it's going to cost millions of dollars to build it, so basically saying it's going to cost money and we're not willing to spend this money, unlike China.
Potentially build more on the existing hospitals, provide more staff, identify backup staff. That's why we're going to medical schools, retired nurses, retired doctors, develop a reserve staff because healthcare workers will get sick. And when they get sick, they go home. You want to limit the hospitals, limit staff. That's the way you limit the hospitals. Find doctors who are on.
So what he just said is not only we don't have enough equipment and beds and rooms, now our nursing supply and our doctor supply are going to get diminished. So you have two bad news. Hospitals are going to get overwhelmed and we don't have enough space and equipment for them. And then two, we're not going to have the manpower for them because people will get sick or they will not show up to work or whatever.
On reserve and purchase the necessary equipment. What makes an ICU bed an ICU bed? Primarily the ventilator. These ventilators are expensive to begin with and they are scarce.
Listen to this.
And you can't find available ventilators no matter how much you're willing to pay right now, because there's literally been a global run on ventilators.
Okay, guys, this is, I mean, think about it. This is a global run on ventilators. This is exactly what's going to happen to the banking account, to millions of people that are going to default in their 401s. This is exactly what's going to happen when people get sick. There's going to be a wave all of a sudden. There's going to be bank runs, food runs. I've already seen the food runs. I've done videos about you guys, so it's going to be pretty crazy from the looks of it. I hope not, you know what I mean? But it looks like it. And my concern is, our rights, our freedoms. I come from a country of Iran. We left tyrants there, and now it looks like, America's going to have martial law, going to tell us what to do. They're going to test us all, to have our DNAs on file. They're already watching us on their every move we make in our computers to every street light. They have Facebook has AIs that recognizes your face. Imagine what Big Brother does, right? And so on and so on. And worse of it, these guys are not even going to take care of us. Like, China built all those hospitals. These guys talking about, hey, we're not going to even do that for our own slaves because it's going to cost us money.
And free up beds that are in the hospitals. How do you do that? Two ways. One, we may get to a point where you cancel elective surgery. You can have your hip replaced next month, not now. Or develop another facility that you can move people from an existing hospital bed who don't need intensive care into a different facility. How can you build more hospital capacity now? That's a great question. It has never
Okay, listen to this. Let me rewind this.
been done before. Build more hospital capacity now. That's a great question. It has never been done before.
Guys, he's a fucking liar. I mean, no disrespect to this gentleman. I don't know him or anything like that. But come on, dude. We just saw on TV China do it. So for any guy to come out and have the audacity to just straightly look at you in the eye and lie to you, then fuck, dude. That's why I say, man, he's a fucking liar. Because, man, we just saw China build massive hospitals in matter of days. And we called them backwards. Again, I don't have no love for China's government. I do have a love for the Chinese people. I don't have love for any government because, I like freedom, right? And so what's happening is that this guy is now lying, telling us that it's never been done before because they don't want to spend the money at a time or they have the talent or the resources to do it.
It takes years to build a hospital.
No, this other country just did it in a matter of days.
It takes years to convert an existing facility into a hospital. It's billions of dollars.
Yes, that's what it is. It's billions of dollars that they don't want to spend, but they're willing to spend that money on mother-of-all bombs for Lockheed Martin CEOs and workers to make good money. But they're not going to spend that money to protect their slaves or their people, I should say, because really it's an illusional. Freedom is illusional, and we'll see real quick when there is martial law and we're told to stay in our homes how much freedom we have, right?
Say, workforce in the thousands. But on the theory of try.
Well, dude, workforce of thousands. Well, we have the world's largest military. Right? We have the world's largest military, guys. So we have millions and millions of people.
Everything. An area that we have to explore is, can you build more hospital capacity now? I'll get back to that in a minute. On the reducing density, slow the spread by reduced.
Now listen to this. This is where he's going to tell you that martial law is going to be coming, and that's what's the most craziest part about it.
Density. I've been talking to private businesses all across the state. I am asking them to aggressively consider work from home strategies.
Wait for it.
I'm asking them to aggressively consider voluntary closings.
Now wait for it. Here
to help reduce density as a social responsibility, to protect their workforce. But I want private businesses to aggressively consider work from home and voluntary closings. Depending on what businesses do on a voluntary basis, we could consider mandatory actions later on. We've already.
There you go. He's telling you, hey, you better stay at your house, right? Or close your business down. And if you don't listen to his verbal, then they're going to show it mandatory with their guns.
Already taken mandatory actions. No large gatherings over 500, 50% of legal occupancy of a facility. That is a mandatory way to reduce density in the workplace. I'm asking them today to voluntarily consider closings and reductions in workforce. If need be, we can calibrate up the mandatory requirements that I have already.
Martial law. He's gonna sanction us to sit in our freaking homes for days and days and days, you know, and that's where we're living. And this is all, in my opinion, fear all over the world, fear for the poverty of the world, the one world order. I mean, a lot of important people that were high up have already came out and told us that. Right? And they tell us, and then later on it happens. So, you know, the guy said they're going to have stations where they automatically swab you and get your DNA and track you. They take a good picture of you, put in their computer, your DNA, everything. They're going to go into a one world order. And I mean, there's fear and panic everywhere. The other day I was at Costco. There was so much fear, guys, so much fear, terror in the air. And I've never seen it like that. People running over people. And it was like, wow, you know, I mean, just, you know, I never thought I would see that in America, you know. Other countries, yes, but not in America. And so here's where we're at, and they're going to ask a lot of people to sit at home, right? And so a lot of people can't afford to work, or the companies are not going to pay them, or they're going to get laid off. And so maybe that's why this should be a great time for you to do the new flip. Okay, the new flip, you're able to work from home, you're able to work from your cell phone. All you need is $100 capital, and you can make 200 to 700x. I do it. I love it. I just bought 2 beautiful bikes with it, and you know, this is at the same time that it's a tragedy, but also it's a great opportunity as well. You know, some people are going to make millions. A lot of people are going to lose everything they got. When you include the stock market into the equation, then it creates even more opportunity and losses. When you consider real estate, so on. So if you're in a situation where they're going to lay you off, or they're going to give you less hours, or they got to make you sit at home, you can still do the new flip, and all you need is $100 right from your home. You can go to MrNoFlip.com right now, download the course for a deep discount, guys. Deep discount. I'm just basically giving it away, guys. You can get it right now, 90% off. Okay, 90% off at MrNoFlip.com. And man, I wish you guys the very best. I hope you stacked up on everything. Don't take no for an answer. Remember, we live in the best country ever. And don't have fear, because the fear is going to allow the Big Brother to take your rights away. Peace.